All right, guys, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. We have our Ignite wrap. So exciting. I know everyone's probably a little shattered, probably a little bit emotionally flat today. That's often something that happens after a conference. But I certainly hope that you've got that little ball of motivation and inspiration that's just rolling around inside of you. Tonight, we're going to hear from probably about half a dozen people who were at Ignite or on Zoom, so they can share with us tonight their aha moments about Ignite. What I'm wanting everybody to share is 2 or 3 key aha moments. Make it as specific as you can. Don't make it too general. But not only that, what you're putting into action this week as a result of those aha moments that you had over the weekend. So out of respect for Garth, because it is 11 o'clock over in Newcastle, I'm going to get you to have a chat first, Garth. Just 2 or 3 key aha moments and what you're going to put into action.
Thanks, Tamara. Yeah, first of all, it's kind of, I'm still on Perth time, so I'm not too shattered, although the trip back from Perth was fantastic. I met some great people on the plane even. I think, had some great conversations. So the follow-on from the weekend has been amazing. Yeah, look, I've got 3 and I jotted them down just before I came on. I think this stems from the strength and the honesty and the authenticity and the vulnerability of everyone that spoke, and just the feeling in the room on Saturday particularly. I think for me it was a reminder of this amazing community and the need for us to stay. And I know it's become a cliche, but it's a really clear one: is staying close to the fire. And getting involved in as much training as we can, because we've got all these people as a resource. All these people, so many of the people that we learned from and shared with on Saturday, are part of this community, part of this Zoom community even. And obviously, being on the East Coast, this is a great way to reconnect with some of the great people I met over the weekend. So I think for me, it's going to be very much tapping into the training that's available, that tomorrow the youth supply, that we get through all the stories that we hear and the ideas that we hear. So that's something that I'm going to be very much focused on as of now. Nat's conversation around story was a big one for me. And as much as I'm all about storytelling and have done it as a living and helped other people tell their stories for many years, for me it was a case of I need to sit down as of tomorrow and just really get clear about, I guess it's my why, but it's also my story. And that came through time and time again with what I heard over the course of Saturday. So that's something that I'll be doing, as I said, as of tomorrow morning. And the other thing is the conversation around mindset. And for me, it started when I finished Breakfast Radio late last year. The whole notion of preparing myself every day for the day, and that's where I think mindset's going to start for me at 5 o'clock in the morning, and making sure that I'm putting myself in the best position I can to get the results that I need. That's going to keep me ticking along, because that ties into the conversation that we got from Lindsay about that cycle. How if we just rely on our results and our results aren't happening, then we get caught up in that. So for me, the way to kick that along, and that's something I'll be doing, virtually as of 5 o'clock tomorrow, is working on my mindset, making sure that I'm set up every day to make every day a winner and a day that's going to get me the best results I can. And that's in my control. So I guess they're the 3 specifics that I got. There was so much, but if I nut it down to 3, they were the ones for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love that. 5 a.m. club. Good work.
Yeah, absolutely. That's work. A sleep in for me.
Yeah, exactly. You quit Breakfast Radio to get up at 5.
Yeah, it's good to have a plan.
That's it. Jesse Phillips, while you've got a moment without 50 million children running around, why don't you unmute yourself, my love? I've just unmuted you. Tell us 2 or 3 things that were your aha moments, but more what you're going to put into action this week as a result of that.
Yeah. Okay. So one main aha moment was listening to the health stories. Like, I really forget that some people have really bad health problems, because we come from a pretty healthy family, and the girls have been on the tube since they were 10 months old, and we've never had any major health instances. And when I share the product with people, I know how amazing it is. But I guess without hearing these stories, you can sort of go into a little bit of a plateau about it. So just hearing, especially I can't remember the lady's name, but the one with the 2-year-old daughter with the constipation, like, that really hit home for me. And I just thought, oh my God, this really is so powerful. And I just sometimes almost forget how powerful it is, because we don't really have any of those problems, and haven't, just even in my immediate family as well, it just doesn't happen. So the action I'm going to take out of that is just reaching out to people more on a product point of view, because I tend to just either go in with product or I go in with business. It just depends on what my strategy is at the time. But now I'm just going to be focusing a lot on product. And I've just been talking to someone about like arthritis, and just really getting more into the nitty-gritty, because I know it can help people, knowing that it's just helped all these people, and just hearing those stories, you just sort of forget. Yeah, that was my biggest aha moment. And probably listening to Amber about the commitment and the getting up at, super early, and just, I think my life is busy, and it is, and we all have, like, moments in our head, but other people's lives can be so much busier and so much worse than what your own is, and they still manage to, get themselves out of bed and do this. So I don't want to take a page out of Sophie's book and just be totally obsessed. So just every second that I'm not with the twins, well, I'm always with Lincoln, but every second I'm not with them, I'm just going to be focused and obsessed with this, because, yeah, I want it so bad, and I just, sometimes I let life get in the way, and it just gets me so frustrated, and I just hate that, and I don't want to be in frustration. So I just have to be super clear, and yeah, start the day earlier, even though I'm still feeding through the night. I just don't want there to be any excuses. So yeah, they're my two main ones.
Yeah, I love that, Jess. And what you've done is you've just added those stories to your utility belt. So the more stories that you hear, the more that you're going to have to share with people. So that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, Ado, I know you've had the floor tonight already, but I'd love it. I know you had quite a few aha moments. I can't unmute you, my friend. You do it.
Yep, gotcha.
Okay.
Beautiful. I thought there was I went back through the book today. We did a bit of I did a live on our team page to sort of go over it for the people that missed out. And I think the definitions of a role model, I can't remember who did that, but I wrote them down. It definitely wasn't Sophie and Tess, but I wrote it on that page where you could write notes. And so, different definitions of a role model being self-aware, show empathy, being courageous, lead by example, and ready to lead. Those 5 things, I think, it's not obvious because we're not just born leaders, but I just thought that was really good. So I wrote those down, and I definitely want to basically do that. That's what I want to do. I want to be a leader in this business. So I definitely take that on board. Agree with Garth the importance of telling your story and being good at telling your story. But I think what's more important is, and it definitely showed to me on the weekend with how uncomfortable people were. I had a good look around in the room, and these are people that a lot of people in the room are in the business, and they were uncomfortable about telling their story. So, that's not having a dig at anyone, but what that makes me realise, because I'm 100% wanting to create duplication, I know that I need to teach my team to tell their story. And be comfortable about telling your story and spend time there. So that's definitely something that I want to spend time with our team is getting comfortable telling your story, because that's all this business is telling your story. The third thing I thought that was awesome, and we've probably all heard it heaps of different ways, but I wrote down the way that Luce talked about the triangle with regards to social media, like the top of the triangle being, in case people didn't see it. Can you see that? Add people. And that one there's content, and that one there's connect and follow up. So basically, if you take away one of those parts of the triangle, then it's not, things aren't happening. Like it makes total sense. And I mean, you could spend 10 minutes talking about that alone, but it was just so clever and a simple way to explain to people that want to do this on social media. So yeah, they're my 3 things.
That's awesome, Ado. I love the simplicity. You and I think very similarly. And flowing on right to you, my friend. I've got to try. There you are. You unmute yourself.
There we go. Yep. Mine's really quick. Can you hear me? Yep. So basically, where somebody said, and I still can't remember who it was, but it was about every customer and every team member begins with a relationship, and sometimes we forget because we get so entrenched in, whether it's building or whether it's, making sure they stay a customer, we forget the part where you need to stay their friend as well. So for that was really powerful for me to realise that these are people, not just team members. They've got lives as well, that like that roller coaster that we all have been on. For me, it's 6.5 years now. People that joined early days, they may not be in it right now, but they may be in it later, and I've got to remember that because that was me.
And that was it? Just that one to share?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, real quick one.
What do you think, and out of that, I mean, if that was a really powerful aha moment for you, what do you think you're going to do with that moving forward? How's that going to impact business?
Today, basically, I already started just rekindling the conversations with all those people. And, the ones that came to mind at conference, but there's obviously lists of people. So what I actually do, which is probably a thing that I've taught some of my team, is when you send the reports, the formal reports to yourself in an email, I actually keep them all. So I was thinking of somebody about 3 weeks ago, and I thought, oh my gosh, they used to be a customer. And with phones updating, phones doing all sorts of things, you don't always have everyone's phone number, but those reports from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, had that person's phone number. So it was just a little key little tip
Nice.
for others.
That's very clever. Well done. Michelle Goodrick. You're wanting to share, my friend. Where are you? Put your hand up.
I'm down here.
You're down here. I can't see you. Oh, there you are. Go for it.
Just a few quick ones for me. I mean, the obvious one, I suppose, and like for most of us, I got a lot more clear about my why, which was great. But one thing I think I was having a conversation with Mel, and just in hearing what come out of my mouth, I realised I've been struggling to get team. And just by a sentence that I said, and the penny just dropped, the sentence was that I believe I'm not getting team because once I get team, I have to lead, and I'm afraid of leading. So, and then I just sort of stopped for a second. I thought, my God, what did I just say? And that's exactly, I think, what's going on. So that's what I need to work on. And also having a chat with Stevie on the boat yesterday, it really got me a lot more clear about my target market, like being in my age group and people that I connect with. I think it'll be really nice to sort of target those middle-aged people that are thinking about retirement and encourage them to retire healthy. Like, I think that will end up being a bit of a niche market for me, and I hadn't thought of that until chatting with Stevie on the boat.
That's brilliant. You're going to link arms with Bronnie.
Yes.
You two need to go to meetings together. Michelle, you talked about that realization, that aha moment of the fear of leading, which I think is really interesting. Lee's just said the same thing here as well. How are you going to take that information? Because that kind of falls into the realm of PD, doesn't it? Personal development. How do you think you're going to take that information and move it forward in your business? What are you going to do?
Well, I already had a quick chat with Nat about it on the boat, and like she said, I don't feel like I have to do it on my own. I need to reach out more to people around me, and realize that I'm not on my own. I don't have to know it all, but just learn where the resources are and link arms with those people, help me teach people. Like, take the pressure off myself thinking that I have to know it all and I have to train these people when I don't.
Yeah. So tapping into the events, tapping into the links. Yeah.
More training, more asking questions, more reaching out when I know I don't reach out enough, but I need to reach out more and learn more and find those resources that I use to help me.
Yeah. And maybe even occasionally stepping out of your comfort zone with things like this. Like, hand up, I'll do a bit of the training. I'll do a bit of starting strong. I'll do it just a section. Once you master those little things, you'll then want to do more and more. And I mean, I know Adrian, I know he won't mind me sharing this, but the first time he did the starting strong was shocking, wasn't it, Ado? But he's an absolute gun at it now. It's brilliant. So yeah, even doing that, Michelle, even if it's just presenting to one person,
yeah,
just us. Yeah. No clients or customers show up. Great opportunity to give it a go. So I'd personally love to see you do that. I think you'd be absolutely brilliant at it. So feel free to put up your hand whenever you want. I'll
Thank
embrace
you.
that for sure. Who else have I got? Justin Borgie. Where are you? There we are.
Hello.
Share us your top tips, my friend, and what you're going to do with those this week.
Yeah, cool. So my Ignite night started on Friday night, being able to catch up with Danny. And he dropped a couple of some bombs that night, which I just wanted to share. Number one, it was amazing to resonate with his story. And he used some language that I often use. He was like, I wanted to be more than an ATM to my son. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So it was really great to hear that from someone that's been in the business for 30 years. One of the big things that he dropped was the question was posed about looking for team. And he said, all right, so what you need to do is you need to go through your contacts, go through your list, and make a list of 20 people that you think would be brilliant at this business that are not on the product, and lead with the product. He said, because if you lead with the business, they're going to be skeptical from the get-go. But if you can get them on the product and keep in contact with them, and then when you're speaking to them about when that next order is due to come through, that's when you drop okay, so the reason why I introduced this to you is because I think you'd be great at the business. Because then they'll have their own experience. They'll know how bulletproof their product is. They will have been exposed to the community rather than leading straight in with the business and potentially being a little bit more skeptical. So that was a massive change of process and mindset. We know that raving fans are where the majority of our franchise will come, our team will come. But I think sometimes when we get to, for me specifically in where I'm at in the business, a lot of my thought process goes to, I need to find team, I need to build my team, I need to build my team, when I should continually always be thinking, I need to build my team, but I do that by building customers first and foremost. So that was my big aha from Friday night. My big aha from Saturday was when Soph spoke and basically just said that, on both Soph and Tess, social media is not an easier way, it's just a different way. And I think for a lot of young team coming in that are a little bit more savvy with the social media than, me being slightly older, that we get into a thought process of we just post something pretty, we make a nice comment and the people are going to flood through. And it wasn't the case. Hearing that there is follow-up they create conversations from every like, from every comment, from whatever it may be, every post, it shows that it's still about that. And Tess said it, it's still about the networking. It's still about creating a conversation. It's just an offline or an online conversation. So social media is a different way. It's not an easier way. And I think that was really important, especially having some team there that really want to build through social media. I thought that was amazing. And my last one, and I know I've spoken for too long already, was on the Sunday. And it was a conversation with Stevie, and it was just about how amazingly supportive and non-judgmental and raising up our community really is. And that, you can't find that anywhere. You know, if you're in a corporate environment, you know, it's, you know, a dog eat dog world, but on that boat, it's just everyone, and in the conference, everyone just appreciating everyone for who they are and supporting them on their journey. And that is, you know, you bottle that stuff. So they were my 3 over the weekend.
Oh, they were great. I love that, the contacts. So what are you going to do with that? Have you started making your list of contacts?
I started making my list on Saturday. And I've reached out to 6 today that I think would be fantastic in the business. I actually had a guest at Ignite on Saturday, which was great, and that looks like that will move forward in the coming days as well. But yeah, just reaching out to those that I think would be great in the product, or great in the business, but leading with product. So that was my focus of today.
I think that's a great tip for everybody. I think we should all do that. I'm going to go and do that right tonight. Timbo, I know Tim's still here. I think he probably travelled the furthest. Where are you, Timbo? There you are.
Right here.
Good on you, mate. Couple of points, my friend, and how that's going to get you into action.
So, I think, let's not complicate this shit. You know, I think we think about how the product's made, where it's sourced, who our leaders are, who's in our team, who's our sideline buddies, but we forget that we're impacting lives. We're talking to people. We need to start talking to people that are in Juice Plus instead of keep messaging people that are in Juice Plus. So I think that's the one big thing for me is just getting into action. There's no excuses, only priorities. So I think seeing where, you know, the good thing is on Saturday, I realized this when someone said, close your eyes and see where you are in 90 days. See your tribe. And I saw my tribe as personal trainers, gym guys, fitness gurus, and all that. And it just blew my mind. I was just going, shit, I think I just clicked onto my bloody tribe. And so that was really big for me. So I think it's just focusing on the solution. So that's my solution. So now it's just I need to surround myself with it. I just applied for a manager's role in a gym. So I've got to follow up tomorrow. So I didn't interview last week before I came. So that freaked me out as well, how I saw that. I pictured that in 90 days. You know, another thing is like there's results, beliefs, potential, and action. You know, results don't come if we don't have the belief. The action doesn't come if we don't have the belief. You know, the potential doesn't happen if we don't take the action. You know, I believe there's a belief, then to take the action. Because if you don't got the belief, people will see right through that. And I think I've had this massive thing until last week about this network marketing thing, this network marketing industry. And I've realized I've been actually really scared of messaging a lot of people and connecting with a lot of high profile people that I'm really well connected with. Is because they're going to think, it's that network marketing thing. Because I didn't believe it in myself. But now I've got that. So I think it's just going out and actually just showing people, casting the vision and just saying, this is longevity. This product's bulletproof. Like my personal trainer said to me, and he goes, Tim, why are you sharing it with a rugby team? Like I'm a manager of a rugby team. He goes, this is bulletproof. Everyone needs to be on this. He's not even on the product yet. And he said it's bulletproof. He said it's amazing. I'm just going, holy shit, okay. okay, you've got more certainty than me. And I've been on the product for 2 years.
There's your next customer, Tim. Right there.
Yeah, well, as X already messaged me and said they're getting it, so yeah. So, and the answer to your other question is, what am I going to do to put into action this week? Is I've been messaging people. I've written some names down as well, and I may be messaging them today, and teeing up meetings for one that's NZ.
Love it. Fabulous. Good work, mate. Love to see you in action. So we're at 27 past the hour. I think we've covered everybody who wanted to share tonight. Thank you so much, guys. There were some really pillars there. Now, I know Natty wanted to finish up, so I'm going to try find you. Where'd you go?
I'm here, babe.
Excellent. So the floor is yours.
Thanks, guys. What an amazing weekend, firstly. Thanks for everyone that came. And for those of you who didn't, please don't miss next year. But we wanted to just introduce something to you that corporate and some of the top leaders have been discussing. We are going to do a Super Saturday every month moving forward. So Super Saturday will be a mini event in 3 parts. So it'll have 40 minutes, 40 minutes, and 40 minutes.